Welcome everyone to another one of my Blender tutorials, and what we're going to go over today is I'm going to show you how to do another little pre-roll, and I'm going to show you how to add a little interesting, do a stencil effect using the light paths node in the material node editor. And so we'll get started and show you how to do that. So once again here we're going to use our fictitious film studio. We're going to do a Shift A. I'm going to add some text here. And we'll go to our top view and edit. I'm going to do Vector Studios. Alright, go into tab mode. We'll go over here to the F option, or the text options here. We're going to put that in the center, like so. And we're going to set our camera up. What I've been doing here is you take your camera, select it, and we're going to be looking down the Z-axis. So what I want to do is set it to 0 for the X and 0 for the Z. And we'll just take it to the origin for now. Then I'm going to use Alt-R to reset the camera. It looks like it sets it looking right at the Vector Studios. That's kind of what we want. We'll go to, it's not looking at it because my camera's behind it. Okay, we'll pull the camera out. And as before, we're going to use our orthographic camera. Now, that pulls it right there. Put it right there in the middle. And then we're going to add a plane in here. Shift A. And we're going to scale it up. We're going to make sure our plane is behind our text there. Like so. Alright. So it looks like we're going to be able to see our plane there. Okay. So we'll go over here into the nodes editor and you hit N. Pull this window over. And select the node editor. Add a new material here. We're going to change this to a diffuse, to an emission shader. And we're going to add in a mix shader, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. We're not going to mix another material in, but I'll show you what I found out and how to keep it from being noisy. So now we're going to add a converter. We're going to use this color ramp, like so. And then we're going to add in a wave texture, like so. I'm going to pull this out a little bit. I'm going to change this color ramp. We're going to make this a pure RGB red. We're going to go over to our white. Kind of make this a dark green. We're going to add a color, and the color in the middle is going to be a yellow, like so. I'm going to set that to ease, and we're going to look through a camera view real quick over here. So you see we got this pattern, and we're going to add a little distortion to it, like so. And now we're going to go back to our text, and I'll show you how to get this stencil effect. We're going to make this a glass shader, and we don't need the IR, so we can set that to 0. And then I think that's all we're going to need. Now we need to go back to our plane back here. And you notice I added a mix shader, but I didn't add another color. Because I found out if what I want to use, I want to control the FAC with a light path. And we'll use the input here, the light path. We want to control this FAC on the mix shader. Say is camera ray. And so now we get the stencil effect. Now I'll tell you real quick, if you add a diffuse and mix them together, you get noise in the image, and so it's not a good idea to do it. You can I'll demonstrate. We're just going to use a mix shader so we can control the FAC, but so you get noise in it, and it just doesn't look very good. So don't add one, just use the mix shader so you can have an FAC to control. Okay, so we'll just delete this one. We don't need that in there. So now we're going to do a little animation here. We're going to set this to 90 frames, and since this is a pre-roll, when we get ready to render this, we'll make this 30 frames per second, like so. And I'm not going to render it here, but this is a setup, and you can render it as H.264. This, since you use these for to incorporate in your videos, they have to be at 30 frames a second. Everything matches up real nice and neat. So, well, we're going to animate this. We're going to do a little animation on this, and we go over to our wave texture. We're going to animate this part of it. We'll just say I on that for the first frame. Then we'll go to frame 30 and change the distortion up a little bit, maybe like so, and we can hit I for animation. And frame 60, maybe we'll change the scale a little bit, like so, and we'll animate that as well. Just tap I, and then on the last and 90th frame, maybe we'll change our distortion over a little bit and hit I. So you'll see what that does. And so you get this color change in the back of your logo. Now if you wanted to fade to black, what you can do here is you go back to your first frame and you keyframe your strength on your emission color, like so. And then when you go to your 90th frame and last frame, change that to 0 and keyframe that. And so what we got here is we got this 3-second pre-roll, and it changes color and fades to black. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found that useful, and make sure if you want any comments or ask any questions, put them in the comments section, and please subscribe. So I'm out of here, and thanks for watching.